Welcome back to Yusuf Reacts. Today, we're diving into one of the most iconic James Bond films, You Only Live Twice. This 1967 classic stars the legendary Sean Connery as Bond and takes us on a thrilling journey across Japan, filled with espionage, intrigue, and plenty of action. This movie marked a unique turn in the Bond franchise, introducing many tropes we associate with Bond films today, from outlandish villains to exotic locations. You Only Live Twice was the fifth film in the Bond franchise and marked Sean Connery's fifth outing as 007. At this point, Connery had already established the suave, daring persona of Bond that fans loved. But this film upped the stakes with its grand scale and groundbreaking set design. The story begins with Bond's supposed death during a mission, only for him to return undercover to investigate mysterious events involving spacecraft disappearances. These events bring him to Japan, where he discovers that the villainous organization Spectre is behind it all. Their leader, the sinister Ernst Stavro Blofeld, played by Donald Pleasence, has a plan to ignite a global war between the United States and the Soviet Union. Connery's performance as Bond here is pure classic, and his chemistry with the Japanese allies he meets, especially Aki, adds a unique twist to his character's journey. And let's talk about Blofeld. Donald Pleasence gives us an unforgettable take on the character, with his scarred face, calm menace, and that unforgettable white cat. His portrayal has inspired countless parodies and pop culture references over the years. One of the standout aspects of You Only Live Twice is the breathtaking Japanese landscape. From Tokyo's bustling streets to the serene countryside, the film captures Japan beautifully. The ninja training school scenes and the famous volcano lair add a unique flavor to the Bond world, setting it apart from earlier films. The production even built a massive volcano set, which was an engineering marvel of its time. The film taps into Cold War anxieties, with tensions running high between the U.S. and the Soviet Union. The plot revolves around the idea of a third party igniting a world war by manipulating these two superpowers. This theme of espionage and the possibility of global catastrophe was timely for the 1960s. Despite its epic scale, You Only Live Twice did receive some criticism. Connery, feeling typecast, was less enthusiastic by this point, and some fans felt that the story veered into the realm of the unbelievable. But it's also the film that solidified the Bond formula, from grand set pieces to quirky gadgets and charismatic villains. And for many, that's what makes it a classic. James Bond and the Japanese Secret Service must find and stop the true culprit of a series of space hijackings before war is provoked between Russia and the United States. During the height of the Cold War, the United States and the Soviet Union lose one spacecraft each, after they are both seemingly swallowed whole by a second unidentified spacecraft. The two superpowers are quick to blame one another for the disappearances, causing tensions to skyrocket. The United Kingdom has an alternate theory regarding the disappearances, however, a theory involving Japan, and sends their number one spy, James Bond, to investigate there. With the help of the Japanese Secret Service, he uncovers a plot far more sinister than anyone could have ever imagined. American NASA spacecraft Jupiter 16 is hijacked from orbit by an unidentified spaceship. The United States suspects it to be the work of the Soviets, but the British suspect Japanese involvement since the spacecraft, after having swallowed Jupiter 16, landed in the Sea of Japan. To investigate, Mi-6 operative James Bond Sean Connery is sent to Tokyo. After faking his own death in Hong Kong and being buried at sea from HMS Tenby, M. Bernard Lee, the head of Mi-6, Miss Moneypenny Lois Maxwell, and secretary. Upon his arrival, Bond attends a sumo match where he is approached by Japanese Secret Service agent Aki Akiko Wakabayashi, who takes him to meet local Mi-6 operative Dicko Henderson Charles Gray. Henderson claims to have critical evidence about the rogue craft, but is killed before he can elaborate. He is stalled through the paper wall of his room before he can reveal the secret to Bond. Bond chases and kills the assailant, taking the assailant's clothing as a disguise, and is driven in the getaway car to Osato Chemicals. Once there, Bond subdues the driver who attacks him viciously upon realizing that Bond is not the assassin he was supposed to bring back and breaks into the office safe of the company's president, Mr. Osato Teru Shimada, a Japanese industrialist secretly affiliated to Spectre. After obtaining secret documents, Bond is pursued by armed security, but is rescued by Aki, who flees to a secluded subway station. Bond chases her, but falls down a trapdoor leading to the office of the head of the Japanese Secret Service, Tiger Tanaka Tetsuro Tamba. The stolen documents are examined and found to include a photograph of the cargo ship Ningpo, with a microdot message saying the tourist who took the photo was killed as a security precaution. While at Tanaka's spa, Bond meets with Aki again. Having developed feelings for each other, the pair kiss and Bond carries Aki to his bed. Bond goes back to Osato Chemicals to meet Mr. Osato himself, masquerading as a potential new buyer. Osato humors Bond, but after their meeting, he orders his secretary, Helga Brandt Karen Dorr, to have him killed. Both are revealed to be Spectre agents. Outside the building, assassins open fire on Bond before Aki rescues him again. Bond and Aki drive to Kobe, where the Ningpo is docked. They investigate the company's dock facilities and discover that the ship was delivering elements for rocket fuel. They are discovered, but Bond eludes the henchmen until Aki gets away. However, Bond is captured. He wakes, tied up in Brandt's cabin on the Ningpo. Brandt interrogates Bond before seducing him. Bond thinks he has convinced Brandt to defect to the UK. Brandt flies Bond to Tokyo the next day, but en route, she sets off a flare in the plane, seals Bond in his seat and bails out, assuming Bond will die in the crash. Bond manages to evade the trap, lands the plane and flees before it explodes. After finding out where the Ningpo unloaded, Bond flies over the area in a heavily armed Autogyro Mini helicopter created by Q Desmond Llewellyn, called Little Nelly. Near a volcano, Bond is attacked by and defeats four helicopters, confirming his suspicions that the enemy's base is nearby. A Soviet spacecraft is then captured in orbit by another unidentified craft, heightening tensions with the United States. The mysterious spaceship lands in an extensive base hidden inside the volcano. It soon turns out that the true mastermind behind this is Ernst Stavro Blofeld, Donald Pleasence, the mysterious leader of Spectre, who has been hired by a great power strongly implied to be the People's Republic of China, to start a Soviet-American war in order for them to destroy each other so that China can replace them as the world's new superpower. Blofeld demands a payment of $100 for the capture of the two spacecrafts, which the Chinese object to, as the agreement was to pay the money only once war broke out. Blofeld dismisses them. Blofeld summons Osato and Brandt to his office to answer for not having killed Bond. Osato immediately blames his assistant, Brandt. Blofeld gives them a last chance, but as Brandt leaves, he activates a mechanism that drops her to her death into a pool filled with piranhas. Blofeld then orders Osato to kill Bond. Bond then meets Tanaka and Aki in Kyoto, where they plan to infiltrate the island by disguising Bond as a Japanese fisherman, alongside a wife among Tiger himself and 100 of his ninjas. Bond assumes his Japanese disguise, however, while still in Kyoto. A Spectre assassin tries to poison him while he and Aki are sleeping together. Bond narrowly survives when the pair move in their sleep and Aki is killed instead, following a second attempt on his life by another assassin. Bond is introduced to Tanaka's student, Kissy Suzuki Maihama, who is to act as his wife. Acting on her lead, a funeral for a girl who died recently after venturing into a cave near a volcano. The pair reconnoiter a cave booby-trapped with poison, and the volcano above it. Meanwhile, the US has planned another launch in 12 hours and warned the Soviets against interference. Bond has very little time and no solid leads of any sort of activity on the island, establishing that the mouth of the volcano is a disguised hatch to the secret rocket base. They see a helicopter Fly right into the volcano Carter. Bond slips in, while Kissy goes to alert Tanaka. Bond locates and frees the captured American and Soviet astronauts and, with their help, steals a spacesuit in an attempt to infiltrate the Spectre spacecraft, Bird 1. However, Blofeld spots Bond mishandling his equipment, and he is detained while Bird 1 is launched with a backup astronaut. Bond is taken into the control room where he meets Blofeld face to face for the first time. Blofeld kills Osato to demonstrate the price of failure to kill Bond. Bird 1 closes in on an American space capsule, and U.S. forces prepare to launch a nuclear attack on the USSR. Meanwhile, a team of Japanese ninjas trained by Tanaka approach the base's entrance, but are detected and fired upon. Bond manages to open the hatch, letting in the ninjas. During the ensuing battle, Bond fights his way back to the control room, kills Blofeld's bodyguard Hans by tossing him into the piranha pool, and activates Bird 1's self-destruct before it reaches the American craft. The Americans promptly stand down their forces. Blofeld activates the base's self-destruct system, a bomb that triggers a volcanic eruption, and escapes. Bond, Kissy, Tanaka, and the surviving ninjas leave before the eruption destroys the base, and are picked up by the Japanese Maritime Forces and the British Secret Service. In the end, You Only Live Twice is a pivotal moment in the Bond series. Its influence on pop culture, especially in spy films, is undeniable. It's a must-watch for any Bond fan, offering a mix of adventure, intrigue, and a touch of the surreal that keeps it entertaining nearly 60 years later. Thanks for watching our review. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below with your favorite moments from You Only Live Twice. And let us know which Bond film you'd like us to review next. Until next time, stay shaken, not stirred.